Hey, Kevin here, top 100 financial advisor, two-time author, one-time bestseller, and we're here to talk about the stock market. I want to give you two PSAs and get into the Roblox IPO. It will be one of the biggest IPOs of the year. Definitely tomorrow. That's all you're going to hear about tomorrow. I mean, we'll see what happens by the end of the year. We know IPOs can be a little weird. So first, I wanted to describe, what it is, but let's get into the PSAs first. Now, I also say this is like the sixth time I've recorded this video. I've stumbled on words, which is normal, but the computer shut down on me. It's been rough. So I'm gonna just get this out. Whatever happens, happens. So number one, you saw what happened in market today. Best day for tech stocks in the last 4 months, which is just what we talked about yesterday. I talked about, is this a discount or is this a dip? And I told you guys yesterday, check the tape, that if I had to invest my money and had to continue putting my money in somewhere, it would be Tesla. Tesla's up 18% by itself. All three companies we talked about, Tesla, Peloton, and Zoom, were all up across the board. Again, tech stocks across the board were up. I think Square at one point was up like 10%, which is great because I've been looking at Square sideways for the past few days. But again, this goes back to what we're talking about. By DCA, dollar cost averaging, minding your business, and allowing things to grow on your own. You don't have to be out there checking your account every day. You don't need to be making moves every single day. So now you know. But this goes into PSA number 2 is you don't get to this point. You don't become a top 100 financial advisor. You don't get to write for these publications. You don't get to end up in the New York Times and all these places for no reason at all. Because I have a very defined process that has been repeated. It's because I've managed over $140 million. So I've seen how people create wealth dozens and dozens and dozens of times. It wasn't, oh, I did it one time for myself. Oh, I did it one time for my kids. It's like, no, I've done it for dozens of people and I can do it for you as well. That's why we put all this stuff in the Investor's Toolkit. My favorite thing, I would say top 5 favorite things, but my favorite thing about the course is you get to take it step by step, no matter what budget you have. And you can ask questions that goes directly to my email. I usually reply within 24 hours. People in the comments will definitely attest to that. But also you can go back and replay it at any point in time. And I add new content from time to time as we learn more about the economy and things are kind of implemented that we continuously add when things get added or updated. So I'm always in there adding things. I'm always in there answering questions. You can always replay this step by step, super simple to take action on. So you do want to sign up for it. That's buildingbread.com/tools. I'll make sure the link is above. I'll make sure the link is below. You want to make sure you take advantage of it while you can. All right, so now the PSAs are out the way. Let's go ahead and go into Roblox. They are trying to get through this before this computer shuts down again. They're a tech company. They create video games. And the cool thing about them that's different than, let's say, an Activision or an Electronic Arts is that you get to create the game. It's a social experience. So basically, I get to create a game. We all get to play all at the same time. You invite your friends, and we all play the school game together. Great, but how do they make money, right? So the format that a lot of video game makers are making today is will create upgrades and add-ons to the games, similar to like your iPhone and apps that are free, but they'll pay for upgrades. That's essentially how they make money. So when you create an upgrade in your game, Roblox gets 30% of that. That money that you get, that digital currency, the Roblox dollars or whatever you want to call it, when you decide to take that from the game into real life, they also get a cut there. So they're making their money in 2 ways, which is actually pretty interesting. I don't think I've seen that, at least I can't think of a way I've seen it in the tech space for video gaming. So either way, it's pretty interesting. They may or may not be the only ones that do it. I'm not sure. But the fact that you create your games, you can make money from it. It can be a side hustle if you're good at it. And then from a company perspective, they're making money. If you're spending more money on other people's games, they're getting a cut from that. If you decide to take your money out, they're getting a cut for that too. So really interesting from their perspective. The last way they make money is by paid partnerships. So for example, Netflix can have a partnership with them and they show, I don't know, a movie or something in the game, or in the case of Marvel, they can integrate different characters to promote shows and costumes and things like that. So another way to get their message out there inside the game. Now, the way the company wants to move in the future, other than video games, is having the immersed human experience. So perhaps it'll be meetings where we go inside of this platform and we all have a meeting kind of like we're sitting here today. That would be interesting. We'll see if they can pull it off. There's some interesting stuff they can do around concerts and other things virtually. So we'll see where that goes. It's a very interesting company. They've been around since 2004, if I remember correctly. But let's get into the financials. So and I'm quoting this from memory because I've done this video so many times, it just kept crashing. So I don't want to bring it up and read it. So please correct me in the comments if I'm off on some of these numbers. But in 2019, yes, 2019, they were up 56% in revenue, which is crazy. Then 68% the next year in 2020. So my first thought was, well, yeah, you were up 68% in 2020. Everybody was, right? Like everybody got more users if you were a tech company or a Zoom or a Peloton. It was COVID. People were stuck at home. But to go up to increase your revenue in 2019 before the pandemic hit by 56%, that's strong. Now that doesn't mean they can do it again, but that is still good. I think they have about 36 million daily active users, which is big, but it's also relatively small. Like Facebook has like 1 billion people on it, right? WhatsApp got what feels like 1 billion people on it. So they still have a lot of room to grow. They're 350 some odd million people in the United States alone, and they are a global company. So there are billions of people that they can pull from. And I think that they have a runway to success in the long-term future. Again, they've been around since 2004. So they've been around the block for a mighty long time. It's their first time going public. Other things that you should know. Their revenue, so we talked about the revenue. They increased their users by 97 million in 2020 alone, which again, that's ridiculous. 97% increase in people on your platform. That's pretty good. However, the revenue numbers or the losses rather, have been there. So they've been around since 04, and they have not been profitable, at least from the financial statements we have. So I think they only gave us 2018, 2019, and the first 9 months of 2020. So in 2018, and this is from memory again, 2018 they lost 97 million. 2019 they lost about 86 million. So this is good because that number is dropping. It's creeping down, which is good. But the first 9 months of 2020, January through September, they lost more than 200 million. So that is cause for a little bit of concern. Now, they will tell you, and it's actually true from their statements, that when you increase by 97 million new users, you're going to have more expenses. Maybe you're hiring more, spending more money on developing, making sure your systems don't crash. Yeah, I mean, it kind of makes sense, right? So they did lose a lot more money than what they did in the previous 2 years. Can they bring that down? We'll see. Can they sustain that growth? We'll see. So these are things that I am a little bit concerned about on the negative side of things. Now, also, you want to compare this to what we've seen from other IPOs. If you take year to date, which is January to now, take a look at Snowflake, C3 AI, two companies that I really liked, DoorDash, Airbnb, and GoodRx. That was the tech pharmaceutical company. They're not doing all that well, with the exception of, I think, Airbnb from January to now. Now it's still really, really early. So I wouldn't really even judge these companies until a year plus. I mean, for an IPO, because we've seen this from Facebook, we saw this from Tesla. It could take a few years before it really starts to pay off. I broke my IPO rule for Snowflake. Started off well. I'm down like 100 now, which again is not that big a deal. I'm not even looking at it like I'm gonna wait several years before I say whether this was a good buy or not. So we'll have to see. We will have to see. But that is the risk you take with IPOs. Again, I always bring up the case of Facebook. Terrible for like a year and a half, then it was fine. Tesla, trash for like 8, almost 9 years, and then it was great. Zoom took off, been great since. So it really depends. And also, I had a list. I'll pull this up here, where there's a list of companies on Instagram of companies that should have been the next big thing. So I'm not saying that Roblox is the next Activision, or it's the next EA, or it's the next Google, or whatever company that gets often compared. But I'll show you here, or read off a few of these that were supposed to be the next big thing in the market. For every Google, and this is a tweet from Financial Advisors Kansas City, for every Google, there's an Ask Jeeves. I don't even know if that site exists anymore. I remember Ask Jeeves. That makes me feel old, but it was a thing. It ain't no mo. It's Google, period. You might think of Bing. I'm told that Bing still exists, but who using that? If you use it, let me know in the comments, because, yeah, we need to talk. For every Amazon, there is a Borders Books. Rest in peace to Borders, a Circuit City, a Radio Shack, a Blockbuster, a Pets.com, eToys. Like, yeah, for every one of those, there are way more that have completely failed and just fallen off the map. For every Apple, there's a Palm. I remember those. Gateway computers. I remember those commercials like the cow boxes. I'm making myself feel real old. Compact computers. I still thought they made those. Apparently, they did not. So for every star company, there are plenty that have failed that you may not have heard of or may not even remember. So it is very difficult to pick individual stocks. It makes it super, super difficult for IPOs, even the ones that are popular. So do be careful. I will be keeping an eye on it. I'm interested. I like their business model and I'm just curious. Am I jumping into it? No. But I will be keeping my eye on it. So that's it for me. Make sure you share the video and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.